Alright guys, in this video we have more PlayStation news and info to go over and discuss. So before we dive into it, if you could do me a favor and hit the like button to help this video out and show your support, I'd greatly appreciate that. And hit that subscribe button as well if you're new here to the channel. We're starting here with Sony investing another $200 million into Epic Games, the creator of Unreal Engine. This is alongside the announcement that Aloy will be joining Fortnite. Now, I want to talk about why I believe this actually lets us know we may be getting ready to get some more information on one of the biggest upcoming PlayStation exclusives, that being Horizon Forbidden West. But let's go over the information first. It says here via Push Square that Epic Games has raised a further $1 billion in funding, with Sony signing a check on another $200 million investment. You may recall that Sony put $250 million into Epic Games less than a year ago, but now it's followed that up with another 9-figure sum. The investment builds on the already close relationship between the two companies and reinforces their shared mission to advance the state-of-the-art in technology, entertainment, and socially connected online services. It's worth noting that this is not specifically the PlayStation division making an investment, but Sony as a whole. The company is using Unreal Engine for all sorts of products, ranging from music videos to movies and television shows, as well as virtual reality experiences and, of course, games. It also announced that Horizon Zero Dawn's protagonist Aloy will be appearing in Fortnite at some point. I think that's actually happening on April 15th. I think that's okay. We saw Kratos join Fortnite. I do not like Fortnite, so this doesn't really mean anything to me, but it is worth paying attention to the fact that this is happening at around the same time that Sony's going to be giving out Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition out for free for literally everybody. You don't need PlayStation Plus. It's part of the Play at Home initiative. That's happening on April 19th. And so to see kind of like this big push all of a sudden with the Horizon series, this tells me that we can expect to be getting more information on Horizon Forbidden West, hopefully in the not too distant future. I would assume sometime in June, most likely during the next big PlayStation event. I think that this is a game that Sony's really going to push in a big way, because this is the big title. I don't necessarily think that God of War Ragnarok, or whatever the next God of War is going to be called, I don't think that's going to be coming this year. I think we're going to learn more about it, but I think the big holiday title for Sony this year is going to be Horizon Forbidden West, and I think we're going to learn a lot more about it in the coming months. So there you go. We're going to move on from that, though, and talk a little bit about Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I don't have too much to say about this, but this is something that you guys might want to pay attention to, and that's the fact that apparently more news is on the way very soon. Apparently Insomniac Games has big plans when it comes to talking more about this title. So it says Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart PS5 news is on the way, with plans in place for reveals ahead of the June release of the game, according to Insomniac Games. Answering a fan on Twitter, Insomniac responded with, "We know you're antsy for more news, and there are plans in place right now for that. You'll be pleased with what we have to share. Just hang tight." So it's been a little while since we've heard about Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and some fans are starting to become a little bit antsy. I think we do have to understand that there is another PlayStation 5 exclusive releasing before Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, that being Returnal. So it really wouldn't be the best thing to start talking about Ratchet & Clank now when we're just a couple of weeks away from Returnal launching. It would be best to wait until after Returnal's launch to then start ramping up the marketing and all of the, information that we're going to be getting about this title after that. So the way I see it going down is over the next 2 weeks, building up to Returnal's launch, we're going to see more of an emphasis put on that. Hopefully, both of these games will get their own dedicated state of play, where we get a good 10 to 15 minutes of raw gameplay where the developer kind of lets us know everything there is to know about the game. So we have a really good overhead view of what the game is all about. I think we're going to get that for both games. That's my hope anyway. So, Insomniac is just kind of reassuring everybody, reassuring fans that there's going to be a lot more information to come when it comes to Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We just have to be a little bit patient with it. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. We're also talking about Sucker Punch, because apparently a job listing reveals that Sucker Punch is working on a spectacular multiplayer game with co-op. Now, this is very interesting to me. It says here via PlayStation Universe that a new job listing on Sucker Punch's website reveals that the developer is working on a multiplayer title, likely alongside a Ghost of Tsushima sequel, which was previously hinted at. So it's worth noting that Sucker Punch is 100% working on a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. The reason why I say this is because there were multiple job listings that were specifically asking for people who are knowledgeable about, this time period where, that we see Ghost of Tsushima set in, and they've played Ghost of Tsushima, just all of these different things that, really do hint at them working on another Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, like, they kind of made it obvious. So it's worth noting that that's something they are working on. But the job listing doesn't offer many details on the actual game or what style of experience it's going to be, but this is what the description says. Our talented multiplayer designers create awesome game team experiences, and you'll be pivotal in bringing that creativity to life in a spectacular multiplayer game. We are looking for the whole package, someone with the necessary skills to investigate, define, implement, and deploy networking features that support a smooth and engaging cooperative gameplay experience. So it goes on to say, at first you would immediately think that this is a position to continue developing content for Ghost of Tsushima Legends, but since its launch, it hasn't seen any big content updates. So our bet is that Sucker Punch is working on an expanded Legends mode for their Ghost of Tsushima sequel, which will probably be packaged into the game at launch alongside the main single-player offering. So this is just speculation on their part, but it makes it pretty clear that they're working on a spectacular multiplayer game. That's exactly how they worded it. And so what I think is happening here is similar to what we're seeing done with The Last of Us. So a lot of people believed that because we knew that Naughty Dog was working on a multiplayer game of sorts, we assumed that it was going to be an updated factions mode that would launch alongside The Last of Us Part 2. We now know that that's not what happened. What happened is The Last of Us Part 2 launched on its own, and now this title that Naughty Dog's been working on for some time, this multiplayer game, it's going to be a standalone game. I mean, every single sign is there to confirm that. So what I think is going to happen is we're going to see a Ghost of Tsushima sequel that will stand on its own, and then we're going to see maybe like a Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer title, like a standalone dedicated multiplayer title. I mean, you could say that Legends was standalone, but you get access to it by buying Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's going to be a little bit different this time around. That's my assumption anyway, but either way, it's very exciting. Apparently, Sucker Punch is working on these two big titles, and so I'm excited to learn more about them. But we're going to end this video talking about yet another rumor, and I wanted to be sure to make this the last thing we talk about because I don't want people to get ahead of themselves, and I certainly don't want people to believe that I'm trying to convince you this is real, because I do not. In fact, I'm going to encourage you to be very skeptical, but I know that a lot of you care about these two IPs that we're going to be talking about, and you also care about the studio that's referenced in this rumor. We're talking about Bluepoint Games, potentially working on not one, but several Metal Gear Solid remakes, and we're also talking about Silent Hill once again. Now, I have to emphasize very heavily, be skeptical. Do not believe this. Do not get your hopes up. I'm just relaying the information to you, and I'll let you know what I think of it. So it says here, before Konami was rumored to have licensed Silent Hill out to Blooper Team and a prominent Japanese developer, several reports stated that Sony was working on a new title in the series. Of course, there were also rumors of a Metal Gear Solid remake, which is separate from the recent report of the IP being up for grabs. As part of this convoluted stream of rumors comes information from insider, in quotes, Catharsis T on Reset Era, who states that Silent Hill is still in the works at Sony. However, they noted that the studio has changed and couldn't disclose the new studio due to personal reasons. Even more interesting is that several Metal Gear Solid remakes are in the works, with Bluepoint handling development. With regards to Silent Hill and whether it was being developed by an internal studio, Sony studio, or published by the company, we're going to have to wait for more details. Unfortunately, when it comes to Castlevania, the franchise was apparently in discussion, but that's apparently all they knew. The insider noted that their information has been vetted by Reset Era's staff, but to still take it with a grain of salt regardless. So, you know, that's the thing here. This individual, I'm not too familiar with Catharsis T. I don't follow this individual. They're apparently some type of insider, and the moderators or staff over there at Reset Era, not Ever, vetted them, and you know, because of that, apparently this is true. Look, I don't know if this is true. Okay, I'm not sitting here assuming it is. When it comes to Silent Hill at this point, I have absolutely no idea if this thing is real or not, but apparently, according to this individual, it is. If you believe what this individual is saying, apparently the studio changed. So, you know, the timing of all this is a little bit strange. I mean, Japan Studio just got downsized. We were assuming that Japan Studio was working on it. What's interesting to me, and potentially very exciting, okay, which studio would it go to? So if you're like believing all of this, right? If you believe that Silent Hill has been in development this whole time, maybe it's run into some development issues. Maybe it was in development at Japan Studio, but you know, we saw what happened to Japan Studio. Maybe Sony gave it to a different studio to work on. Which studio would it be? I did see some people saying that Cory Barlog at one point on his Twitter said, you know, I forget what it was in reference to. I would have to go look it up, but apparently he said that he would like to work on Silent Hill. So, I mean, we know that Sony Santa Monica is currently working on an unannounced title. Is Sony Santa Monica working on Silent Hill? I mean, who knows? It could be anything. I think it's a new IP, but he did say that one time, and it was interesting. So I don't know. When it comes to Silent Hill, it's anybody's guess. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. I'm not holding on the hope, but I'm certainly open to being, you know, delightfully surprised if it were to be announced. The thing that really gets me excited potentially, and I want so badly to believe it's true, is Bluepoint Games, whether they're working on one remake or multiple remakes, I don't care. I just hope that whatever Bluepoint Games is doing next, I hope it is related to Metal Gear Solid, because I would be very excited for that. You guys know this. I want desperately to believe this person, but we've been burned in the past by following stuff like this. So I'm going to leave it to you. It's up to you whether you want to believe this supposed insider Catharsis T from Reset Era. It's worth noting this person even said that, you know, they don't want to continue to talk about it. They've been asked to not continue to talk about it. And I get that, you know, this is one of those things where we've been talking about it for so long that it's like, let's just wait till it's revealed. I get that. But again, I figured this was worth reporting to you guys. I know some of you still care very much about this. So there you go. That's the latest update I have for you on this supposed Silent Hill game and Metal Gear Solid. So at this point, I'm going to ask you guys to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about all of this news and information. Be sure to leave the video a like if you enjoyed it or found it informative. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.